In just a moment, Suspense with Van Heflin.
Hi, Mr. Martin.
Hello, Frank. What are you doing out here?
I've been fishing, and not for Autolite customers this time, Ab.
Autolite customer? No, I don't think you'll find many cars in the middle of the bay. Autolite resistor spark plugs either.
No cars, but there's plenty of Autolite in powerboats. You know, more Autolite ignition systems are used in marine craft than any other brand.
Old Reliable is the first thought of boat owners, too, eh?
It'd be hard to get back to town if you had a breakdown out here.
Yeah, we wouldn't get back to hear your Suspense show if that happened.
Well, tie up alongside and let's listen to it here. I've got my portable.
Suspense. Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations bring you radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Starring tonight, Mr. Van Heflin in Anton Leader's production of Song of the Heart, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Well, you explain all that to the officer in the car, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah? Can I help you?
Please.
What?
I have a confession to make.
A confession?
Please, are you the officer that I tell it to?
Well, do, I guess.
My name is Neil Wilson. I live with Aunt Alice at 265 West 19th Street.
All right. So?
Last night, I guess it was early this morning, I killed Tante Alice.
Mike,
Yes?
you better get this.
All right.
Go on. You killed your, Tante Alice?
Yes.
How?
I took a pillow and smothered.
Go on.
Could I tell you about it? I mean, all about it?
Sure.
Well, I have a fine job. I'm the general manager of the Hand S Company. I've been with them ever since I got out of school. I'm an orphan. I live with my aunt, with Tante Alice.
You live with your aunt?
Yes, I don't remember my parents. They died when I was just a little boy in an accident. Tante Alice brought me up. She was like my own mother.
Why did you kill her?
I guess I should start when I met Muriel Jones. That was only last Sunday at the annual company picnic. It was the first time I'd ever been to one. Usually I spent Sunday afternoons with Tante Alice. Everyone was at the picnic, from shipping clerks to executives, everyone. But I sat off to the side by myself, and, well, that's the afternoon that I met Muriel.
Having a good time?
What? Oh, yes, thank you.
Isn't it a lovely day?
Yes, it is.
I'm Muriel Jones, accounting department.
How do you do? I'm Neil Wilson.
Yes, I know. Do you mind if I sit down here?
Oh, no, please do.
Thank you.
It's really a beautiful day, isn't it?
What are you staring at?
Well, I didn't...
Don't you like my blouse?
Oh, yes, very much. I wasn't staring.
It's a present. Gift from a friend.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I like it because I've been told I had pretty shoulders. Do you think so?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Did you come alone?
Yes.
So did I. I had several invitations, but I turned them down.
Why?
Did I turn them down?
Huh.
Because I knew you were going to be here.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I've seen you at the office. You always look so strict. I wanted to meet you and see if you were.
Well, I'm flattered.
You should be. Most of the time, all the men chase after me. This is the first time I ever did anything like this. Got a cigarette?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. There you are.
Thanks. Match?
Yeah.
Thanks. And don't you smoke?
Well, not just now, thank you.
Would you like to take me home?
Well, yes, I would.
Should we go now?
All right.
Aren't you going to help me up?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Why, Mr. Wilson, how strong you...
You smell of sunshine.
What a pretty speech. You always kiss young ladies when you first meet them.
I never have before.
Never met a young lady like me before, have
No,
you?
no, I haven't.
Don't kiss me anymore here. Take me home.
I'd been out with girls before, but nothing ever came of any of it. I'm too introverted, I guess, to make the first move, and the ladies that I had known previously were not the kind who'd make the move for me. But Muriel did. And I thought that meant that she loved me. We drove for a while when we left the picnic, and then I took her home.
I like your car.
Would you like to go for a ride tomorrow?
You mean you'll pick me up in the morning? Drive me to work?
Well, I'd like to.
Ah, isn't that sweet?
About 7:45?
All right. I'll have some coffee ready if you like. Would you like having your morning coffee with me?
Oh, I'm afraid I couldn't. Thanks a lot, though.
That'll be all right. My girlfriend lives here with me.
Oh, no, it's not that. I mean, I always have breakfast with Tante Alice.
Who?
My Aunt Alice. I call her Tante. That means aunt.
Oh. Isn't that silly? We're standing out here like we didn't have a place to go. Won't you come in for a few minutes?
Well, I'd like to.
That's good. I know you'll excuse the looks of the house. I left this morning before I had a chance to straighten things up. You just sit down there.
Okay.
Here, I'll put these things in the other room. Is there anything I can get you?
No, thanks. I'm very comfortable.
That's good. This is nice.
You're beautiful.
Thank you. Just for saying nice things like that.
Muriel. Muriel,
What?
I've never known anyone like you.
You're just saying that.
No, that's true.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
Yes?
So do I. I knew a girl and a fellow once who got married 3 days after they met. That was love at first sight, wasn't it?
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Is that the way you feel about me?
Yes, it is.
I knew the first time I saw you it would be like this, didn't you?
I hoped it would be.
Give me a kiss.
Will you marry me?
Why, Mr. Wilson, how sudden.
No, will you marry me?
I should be delighted.
I drove home without knowing where I was going. I felt as though I'd never breathed before that day. I felt that I was the luckiest man in the world.
Neil, dear?
Oh, yes, Tante Alice.
Did you have a nice day at the picnic, dear?
Oh, I had a wonderful day.
Well, aren't you going to kiss me?
Oh, sure.
Why, Neil, dear, what's that on your mouth?
What? Where?
It looks to me like lip rouge.
Where?
On your mouth, dear, and on your cheek, too. Why, Neil, dear.
Well, it was...
You better let me wipe it off. Who is the girl? Do I know her?
Her name is Muriel Jones. She works at the office in the accounting department.
Well, how is it that I've never met her if you've known her so long?
Well, I haven't. I just met her today.
You just met her?
It was...
And she...
Well, Tante Alice, it was love at first sight.
Was it, dear?
Yes, we're going to be married.
When, dear?
Well, pretty soon, I think.
Am I going to meet her?
Yes, I'll bring her here to dinner tomorrow night.
All right, dear, all right. We'll have a nice dinner for her.
Well, you'll like her, Tante Alice. She's a wonderful girl.
I'm sure she is, dear. I'm sure. You better get some sleep now. Tomorrow is a work day, you know. Is there something special you'd like for breakfast?
I won't be having breakfast here in the morning, Tante Alice. Muriel's fixing coffee for me at her house.
Just coffee? Well, that's not enough breakfast for a man with a day's work to do.
Oh, coffee's plenty.
But you've never had just coffee for breakfast, Neil, dear.
No, it's enough. Thanks anyway.
All right. All right, then. I'll just have a little fruit juice here for you before you leave.
No, never mind, Tante Alice. You can sleep in the morning. I'm having breakfast with Muriel. I don't know what time it was when I woke up that night. I'd been dreaming of Muriel. I remember the street lights were out. What woke me was some music from It was a sweet, sad record. And it's a song that I'll never forget as long as I live.
For Suspense, Autolite is bringing you Mr. Van Heflin in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Sweet little radio you have there. I'm sure glad we met you, Mr. Martin. Dad and I wouldn't miss Van Heflin for anything.
He is great, isn't he? Can always count on him for a top performance.
Just like Autolite resistor spark plugs, eh, Frank?
Yes, Hap. And right now you can get Autolite resistor spark plugs almost anywhere in the United States. It's sensational. Why, no other spark plug will give and maintain such performance. You know, Autolite Ignition engineered a 10,000 ohm resistor right into the Autolite spark plug that permits a wider spark gap setting and maintains it far longer than any other spark plug. The Autolite resistor spark plug is the best thing that's happened in spark plugs in years. A great new development of Autolite Ignition engineers working with the country's leading car and truck manufacturers.
They make a world of difference, all right. I know. Just had a set installed in my car.
Yes, millions are switching to the new Autolite resistor spark plugs, now available at Autolite dealers the country over.
Avast with the sales talk, mates. Here's Van Heflin in Suspense again.
And now Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Van Heflin as Neil in Song of the Heart, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
You went to sleep and your aunt was playing this record.
He's up to the end of the day he met the girl.
Yes, that's right.
Now, what happened the next day?
Well, the next day, when I got up in the morning, Tante Alice was already up. Oh, I don't know, maybe she hadn't even been to sleep. The table was set for two in the breakfast room. The toaster was out, my fruit juice was on the table, and she was frying bacon when I came downstairs.
Good morning, Neil, dear.
Good morning.
You're early, aren't you? Breakfast will be ready in just a moment.
I'm not having breakfast at home. I told you that last night.
Oh, that was last night, Neil, dear. Today's another day.
I'm having breakfast with Muriel. I have to go now. I'll see you this evening.
We'll have a nice dinner, Neil, dear.
I'm bringing Muriel home for dinner with me.
Tonight? Oh, but dear, that's hardly warning enough.
You said last night that you wanted to meet her.
But so soon, dear?
Now listen to me. I'm bringing a girl home for you to meet. I love this girl. Now, I want you to be nice to her. I don't want a fiasco like the last time.
Neil, please, dear.
I don't want you pouting and sulking this time. I don't want to have to apologize for your actions.
I think that will be all, Neil, dear. I think that's enough.
If you aren't going to behave yourself properly, now just say so now, and we'll not come home for dinner. Now, that's up to you.
I'm only thinking of you. Now, don't be cross. Give me a big smile like you used to when you were a bad little boy.
All right. How's that?
Oh, you can do better than that.
Now, please, Tante Alice, I'm late. I'll see you at dinner.
All right, dear. You call me from the office if you decide to bring her home for dinner.
We'll be home for dinner. I'm telling you now, I don't have to call you from the office.
You call me, dear.
You see, the last time I tried to bring a girl home, Tante Alice had acted just the same way. She'd behaved so badly that I'd never done it again. That had been after the junior class party at high school. It's 13 years ago, and I'd never done it again. I waited for Muriel after work that evening, and we drove toward my home together.
Hold your head still so I can kiss you.
Let's get married tomorrow.
Why, Mr. Wilson, how sudden.
No, really.
Well, what about your Aunt Alice?
What about her?
She won't be angry at me, stealing you away from
Why
her?
should she be?
Well, the way she's hung on to you. For instance, why doesn't she live by herself?
Well, I don't know. We've been together so long, I guess.
Sure, but after all, she's only your aunt. You've got a life of your own to lead. She's got enough money to live by herself.
Well, it's not money. She's quite wealthy. How did you know she had money?
Oh, I heard someone at the office talk about it.
Oh. Look, incidentally, Aunt Alice might act a little strangely when I bring you in the house. Just don't pay any attention to her. If she tries to do anything or say anything to upset you, promise me that now.
I promise you. I can understand her being upset at someone taking you away from her, though. After all, takes one to know one.
The rest of the ride home, we didn't talk. Muriel just sat close to me, and she held my hand in hers. I'll take your coat.
Oh, thank you.
Come on, let's go into the living room.
What's that playing?
Oh, that's the phonograph.
Pretty old machine, isn't it?
Well, that's it's the record scratching. That's what she was playing last night.
What is it? French?
Yes, Tante Alice has a collection of old records. This is the first time she's played them in years, since I was in high school.
Where is she?
I don't know, she must be in the kitchen.
Well, I might as well sit down, I guess. Oh, I forgot to ask you. Are my seams straight?
What? Oh. Yes, they look straight.
So hard to keep your stockings straight. I never can get mine long enough. See?
Well,
What?
good evening, working people.
Oh, good evening, Tante Alice.
And this must be Mabel.
No, it's Muriel. Muriel, this is my aunt, Miss Alice Tremble. Tante Alice, this is Muriel, Miss Muriel Jones.
How do you do?
Oh, please sit down. Dinner will be ready soon. Is the phonograph too loud? I was just playing some old records.
Yes, it is a little loud, Tante Alice.
Oh, that's better.
Is there anything I can do to help?
No, that's all right, dear. Just last-minute things like the gravy. I'll do them in a bit. I'll just sit here with you two young people for a while. Oh, my, I've had a day. Preparing to meet Neil's latest young lady. He always does this to me. Calls suddenly in the middle of the afternoon and says, I'm bringing a young lady home for dinner.
Why do you
Most
say
of them he
it?
wants to marry, or so he thinks. As he said, he wants to marry you. Be careful of him. He's a devil.
Tante
that
Alice,
way.
please. Now, that's not true.
Can you imagine wanting to get married before you really get to know someone?
Did Neil tell you we're going to get married?
He did ask you then. Oh, Neil, shame on you.
Shall we have our dinner?
In a moment, dear, in a moment. You poor little girl. And Neil has been acting the Don Juan with you also. You poor dear. Well, excuse me, I'll let you hear some of my records while I make the gravy.
Would you like me to help?
No, you stay with the young lady. Muriel, is it? I can handle things alone, this once. And after all, if she should ever come back here again, I want her to think kindly of us. Wasn't that a nice dinner?
Very nice, thank you.
Did you enjoy your dinner, Neil, dear?
Yes, it was very nice, Tante Alice. Muriel, would you like a cigarette?
Thanks.
Neil, dear, don't you think you should take the girl home now so that we can go to bed?
Well, you can go, Tante Alice. We'll sit here for a while.
Well, all right. I'm very tired. Good night, young lady. I do hope you stop in and see us again someday. I'm always delighted to meet Neil's friends. Neil, dear, you haven't oiled my door.
What am I going to do with her? What am I going to do?
I don't think I've ever been treated that
I'm
way.
sorry, darling. Please believe me. I'm sorry, but what can I do? How can I get rid of her?
Just leave. When we're married, we'll leave.
Oh, she'll follow us. I'm all she has in the world. I wish she were dead.
Neil.
No, I wish she were dead. What good is she to anyone? Hanging on for dear life to me, holding me, afraid that I'll go out on my own and have my own life and that she'll have no part of it. Oh, sure, she's been good to me and she's worked for me, but I've been good to her, too, and I've helped her.
We'll go away together. She won't follow us. Have you enough money?
Well, I think so. Yes, I have enough. And then there's always her money. She has it lying all over the house. She doesn't believe in banks.
Well, you could take some of that. I think that's fair.
Oh, listen, we better be quiet. She'll hear us.
Well, I'll turn the phonograph on then. She won't. You're right, Bill.
About what?
What use is she? She has money which she doesn't need. She's unhappy living alone. Would kill her to live alone, and yet... I hate to say this, dear. I won't live in the same house with her.
No, I don't blame you.
I was thinking there are a lot of people whose time's finished.
Yeah.
You know, that they've done all they're good for.
I read once where Eskimos put their aged people on ice floes and push them out into the ocean. No ceremony, no sorrow, just that it's the end of their time of usefulness, and that's that.
Neil.
You know, it would be doing her a favor. She wouldn't know.
Well, you did say she wouldn't live long without you, Neil, but she'd probably die of loneliness.
She's never been alone.
And if she is going to follow us, like you said, then I'm sorry I can't marry you, Neil. And That's hard for me to say because I love you. I don't think I've ever been in love before. Never before you.
I need you, Muriel, very badly. I think that we should have the opportunity to make good with our lives.
Sure we should.
But how?
As gently as possible.
Yes. No, I think...
What?
Well, after she's asleep tonight, just put a pillow over her face. No one will ever know.
It would be doing her a favor, Neil.
Look, they couldn't tell. I mean, they...
How could they? Well, she's old. She's smothered in her sleep.
Yeah, that's right.
And we could use her money to go away. After all, she won't need it.
That's true enough.
It's here in the house?
Well, all of it's in cash, $5,000 or something. Muriel, look, you do love me now, don't you?
You know I do. Kiss me.
What was that? Oh, Tante Alice.
Yes, Neil, dear. I was listening to the record playing. I'm so glad you children enjoy it. Isn't it a lovely song? You know what it means?
No. No, I don't.
Turn it off, please, Neil, dear.
It's all right.
Oh, I feel so odd tonight. I think I should like to tell you a story before I go to sleep. Would the girl mind?
Go ahead.
That record tells a story about a boy and his mother. The boy lived at home with his mother. And the boy met a girl. And the mother didn't like the girl and warned the boy away from her. But the girl used all her wiles on the boy, and the boy turned against his mother. And the girl told him that proof of his love for her would be that he killed his mother. And proof of the killing would be that he brought the girl his mother's heart. And so the poor boy killed his mother and took her heart to bring it to the girl. And on the way, he stumbled and fell, and the heart escaped his hands. And before he could get to his feet again, or even see if he was injured from the fall, the heart spoke. And the heart said to him, "Are you hurt, my son?" I cried when I heard that song the first time. Such a sad...
You'd better go to sleep now. It's late.
Good night, dear. Sleep well. Sleep well.
What an unpleasant street.
She knows all sorts of things like that fable, sort of. She gets older, she quotes them to me at great length.
Will it take her long to go to sleep?
No. She's told me a story now. She'll go right to sleep now. We sat there and waited, not saying anything, not touching one another, just waiting. Finally, after about an hour, Muriel suddenly kissed me. She kissed me hard, and she held me close to her. Then I got up and I walked quietly over to Tante Alice's door. I opened it, and I walked into her bedroom. She was sleeping on her back. I took a pillow from her chaise, and then, just as I was about to put it over her face, I thought I saw her eyes move. Waited. No, I was mistaken. She was sleeping soundly, just as she always did. I lowered the pillow softly over her mouth and nose, and I held it there. Watched her chest until there was no movement from her breathing. Then I opened her bureau drawer and took out her money box. And then Muriel and I left the house.
All right?
Yes, all right.
Don't feel badly. You did a good thing. It's just like a mercy killing. It was for her own good.
I know that.
We've got each other now and a whole life to live together without any interference.
I know.
I'll drive. Poor baby. You're upset.
All right.
Can I have the keys?
Yes, right here.
Oh.
What?
Did you take the pillow off her face?
Oh, no, I forgot.
Run back and do it. You can leave the box on the seat. Hurry now.
heard the car leave, and I knew what it meant. And I didn't do anything about it. I just stood there. I wanted to cry. I didn't go into Tante Alice's room. I just stood there. After a while, I opened the front door again. Went and sat down on the steps and waited for the light to come. And all night long, I heard the record playing in my brain, and I heard Tante Alice saying, "And the heart spoke, and the heart said to him, 'Are you hurt, my son?'"
That it?
That's it.
I'll type it up for him to sign.
All right, Mike.
She's driving my car, but I don't care. I mean, if you want to catch her, she's driving my car.
We'll catch her.
What do I do now?
You come with me. Funny you're coming in here this morning. Although, of course, we'd have had a routine investigation anyway.
Because the pillow was still on her face?
Well, yeah. Although she might have had a heart attack, or the pillow might have smothered her without her knowing it. Most accidental deaths are pretty strange. Much stranger than the planned ones. No, I meant that you didn't look at the room very closely when you went in there to kill your aunt. Yeah, in here.
What do you mean that I didn't look at the room very closely?
Your aunt was a pretty smart cookie, and I guess she was really looking out for you, warning you with that song, anticipating what you were planning. We were over there this morning. The door was open, the prowl car spotted it, and went to see what was cooking. It must have been after you left to come down here. They found your aunt's body, but they turned in a sort of routine report.
Routine?
Yeah. This case looked open and shut. Because right next to the bed on her night table, in her own handwriting, your Tante Alice left a suicide note.
Thank you, Van Heflin, for a splendid performance. Mr. Heflin will return in just a moment.
Boy, that show was a knockout. Well, thanks for letting us listen, Frank.
Always glad to do a friend a favor.
Well, you must have lots of friends, Frank. You do plenty of folks a favor, telling them about Autolite resistor spark plugs.
Well, Hap, every car owner who switches to Autolite resistor spark plugs does himself a favor. When you replace your narrow-gap spark plugs with the sensational new wide-gap Autolite resistor spark plugs, you can tell the difference in your car. You got advantages like smoother idling and saving gas. So always remember, Autolite means spark plugs.
Ignition-engineered resistor spark plugs.
Autolite means batteries.
Stay full batteries.
Autolite means ignition systems.
The lifeline of your car.
And now, here again is Mr. Van Heflin.
It's always a great pleasure to join Tony Leader and his fine cast of suspense actors on radio's outstanding theater of thrills. And speaking of thrills, there are plenty in store for you next week when Suspense brings you wonderful Madeleine Carroll in The Morrison Affair. Another gripping study in
Suspense.
Mr. Van Heflin appeared by arrangement with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of Julia Misbehaves, starring Greer Garson and Walter Pidgeon. Doreen Tuttle played the part of Tante Alice, and Betty Lou Gerson was Muriel. Tonight's suspense play was written by Elliott Lewis, with music composed by Lucien Morawick and conducted by Lud Gluskin. The entire production was under the direction of Anton M. Leader. Next Thursday, same time, you will hear Madeleine Carroll in The Morrison Affair.
This is the Autolite Suspense Show. Go slow. Death and danger travel in fast company. Good night. Switch to Autolite.
This is CBS, where 99 million people gather every week, the Columbia Broadcasting System. In just a moment, Suspense with Madeline Carroll.
Hello. Oh, hello, Tom. Where are you? Thought you were driving over tonight. Couldn't get your car started. Well, what's wrong with it? Uh-huh. Well, sounds like ignition trouble to me, Tom. Why don't you call Ed's Auto Electric, best service station in town? He's an Autolite man. Really knows his stuff and believes in preventive service. You know, fixes things before they happen. Carries Autolite parts. You know, Autolite. Spark plugs, batteries, complete ignition systems. Yeah, that's right, the works. Oh, by the way, Tom, Autolite has that swell high-tension show on the air, Suspense. Ever hear of it? Well, why don't you tune in? It's coming on right now.
Suspense. Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations bring you radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Starring tonight, Miss Madeline Carroll in Anton Leader's production of The Morrison Affair, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Oh, Mr. Ballou, there's a woman outside. She doesn't have an appointment, but she must speak to Mr. Ballou privately.
All right, I'll see her.
I'll lay you 6 to 5 it's a divorce. She's got that nothing must get in the paper look.
Will you come in, please?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ballou.
Please sit down. Dottie, buzz me when it's past.
Okay, Mr. Ballou.
We can't be overheard here, can we?
No. Now then, Mrs.
I'd rather you didn't take notes.
Oh, well, all right. But I do need your name.
I'll tell you later. Do lawyers have any kind of code or rule against revealing confidential information?
Like priests? Yes. However, you want me to promise before I hear your case?
Yes.
All right, if it makes you feel better. I've handled hundreds of divorces.
Oh.
And never lost a patient. It is a divorce.
Yes, in a way. But he's dangerous, and there's a child.
The courts usually lean toward giving the mother custody.
I know, but Mr. Ballou, I'm in desperate trouble. I'm afraid. You can't understand till I tell you.
Well, then?
You see, I'm English. My husband is American. He grew up here in Boston, a very prominent family. The Morrisons. He's Dr. Paul Morrison.
Yes, I know Dr. Morrison.
Oh?
That is, I've heard of him.
Then you know he's a surgeon. I met Paul in London in 1939. We were married very soon after we met. And then England went to war, and Paul decided to stay in England to help out. He was different then. So deeply concerned over human suffering. The war changed him hideously. But those first 2 years in London, we were happy. Almost completely happy. Quite suddenly, America was in the war, and Paul had his orders to return to the American Army Medical Corps. We spent the little time we had left at a cottage in the country. And all the time I was trying to forget the one thing that had been preying on my mind ever since they told me at the hospital that I couldn't. And so finally, even though it was our last day together, I went up to London to do what I had always known someday I would have to do. It was late afternoon when I returned.
Who is it? Oh, darling, where on earth have you been?
I'm sorry I'm so late, Paul.
Well, never mind about being sorry. Come over here this instant. Give me a kiss. Want to know something?
What?
You're a heartless hussy going off and leaving me alone all day. Our last day.
Do you think I'd have gone if it hadn't been important?
Now, look, darling, I'm a doctor, too. I don't know what doctor you went to see this time, but none of us can perform miracles.
I don't believe in miracles, Paul, and I didn't go to London to see a doctor. I went to find out if we could adopt a child.
Adopt a child?
I know you've always been against the idea, Paul.
Darling, this is no time to go into a big, complicated thing like that. I've got to be on my way home by this time tomorrow.
It's not this time tomorrow I'm thinking about, Paul. It's all my life. If I can't have a child of my own, then I want to adopt one.
But, Sheila,
I sort of halfway picked out one at the orphanage today.
What?
His parents were killed in an air raid, and oh, Paul, you've always wanted a boy.
I've wanted a son, yes. But adopting a child involves certain risks. There are fundamental laws of heredity.
Now you're being plain old-fashioned.
You can call it anything you like. It's out of the question.
Why? Give me one reason why.
You know the reasons as well as I do.
All I know is I'm a woman and I want a child.
Sheila, come here. Look at me. Maybe I'm old-fashioned or overcautious, but if we got a child that way, picked him out like something on a grocery shelf, you might feel he was your son, but he wouldn't be mine. And the son has to be for both of us. Or not at all.
I stayed on in London for more than 6 months after Paul left. It was ghastly there for everyone. As for me, I lived in a fever of loneliness, worse than loneliness. Then my mother asked me down to the country to wait out the war with her. It was a summer evening when I took a crowded train from Paddington, and I sat alone in the compartment, numb with my hunger for Paul. You must understand, that day I wasn't myself. I wasn't accountable. You see, I had a double kind of loneliness. When the conductor opened my compartment door for other passengers, I didn't even look up at first.
Hello, missus. I'll suit you.
Oh, thank you ever so much.
It's the window seat. I want the window seat.
Now then, you two. I reckon the missus is going to want some of that fresh air for the little nipper.
Here, you can have my seat if you like. It doesn't make any difference to me.
Oh, it's very kind of you, miss, I'm sure.
Mom, I want to see the guards then.
Not now, Johnny.
But, Mom, you promised.
Missus, I'll let you know when we're near Reading Junction.
Oh, thank you.
No trouble at all, missus.
I hope Mary's not taking up too much room on the seat, miss.
No, not at all.
But she's shoving and pushing me, Mom.
Now, Mary.
Either. I don't think more room
Oh,
in
now,
there.
stop. You just stop it. Mary, stop rummaging in my carry-all. There's nothing in it to eat. Oh, dear. Children can be such a trial. Oh, what? Now, hush. Yes, I know you're hungry.
Can I hold him for a minute?
What, miss?
You two like to look at pictures. Here's a magazine with all sorts of pictures about America. My husband sent it to me.
Oh, that's kind of you, miss, I'm sure. Now, thanks, the lady. Thank her.
Thank you, Mom.
Well, that'll keep them quiet. A mother ought to be two people, that she ought.
I'll hold the baby while you fill his bottle.
But if it won't trouble you.
Oh, no. I don't mind. I sat there, scarcely breathing, looking down at the baby in my lap. It was as though I'd never felt warmth before. He stopped whimpering and looked up at me with very big brown eyes that seemed to hold recognition.
He's taken a real fancy to you, miss, and no mistake.
What's his name?
Jamie. It was his father's name. He was killed last week in a bomber over Germany.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. But at least you have the children.
Oh, yes, miss. But sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I think it would be better if I didn't have this last one.
Oh, no, you can't mean that.
Not easy, miss, with no man to provide. You said you're married, miss. Do you have any children?
No, I have no children. Baby.
You'd know if you had one. Knowing all the things I won't be able to give him. I can't help thinking he'd be better off if I left him on someone's doorstep, so to speak. Someone well-fixed, like you.
You'd regret it all your life.
But it's his life I'm thinking about when I say it. Of course, I'm not brave enough to do it. But I wish I was. Oh, well. If wishes was horses, as they say.
We're just pulling into Reading Junction, missus, if you still want to get that cup of tea.
Oh, thank you, Johnny. Mary.
Come on, Mary. Mom's going to get us something to eat.
I want to see the pies first. Well, you can look at the magazine when you come back.
No, run along, Buck. I'll be on wait from the outside.
All right, Mum. Come on, lady. Well, wait till I get my coat.
I'll take Jamie now, miss.
I'm going to sit right here. Why don't I hold him till you come back?
Oh, I wouldn't want to bother you.
Oh, it's no bother at all.
Well, you won't have any trouble with him. He's always been a good baby. Come in, I'll wait. If you're sure, miss. Quite sure?
Oh, yes, I'm quite sure. Maybe you'll say what I did was wicked. That she didn't tell me to take her child. But I know she did. She made her decision and I made mine. After a few minutes, I got up and carried the baby down the corridor. I was trembling so I was afraid I'd drop him. I managed to get off the train and made my way across the crowded platform. It was nearly time for the train to pull out.
Hurry up, girl. Train's leaving.
Then I saw the woman, her two older children coming toward me. I stepped behind a post.
Oh, she's a pig. Mary's a wicked pig.
I stood there and watched the three climb onto the train. Then he began to move. And it was the brakes or a train whistle. If only I hadn't imagined it was something else. Above the racket of the train, it sounded like a woman screaming.
Suspense, Autolite is bringing you Miss Madeline Carroll in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Hello. Oh, it's you again, Tom. Swell program, eh? What? The name of that Autolite service station? Well, it's Ed's Auto Electric. Just look for the big Autolite sign down on Main Street. But wait, here's more dope on Autolite service. Listen to Frank Martin.
For expert ignition checkup and repair, stop at your nearest Autolite service station. Highly trained mechanics working with specialized machines are ready to give your car the best, most complete, most reliable ignition service possible. And when it comes to replacement parts, why, money can't buy finer ignition equipment than Autolite. Autolite is the world's largest independent manufacturer of electrical equipment for automobiles. And many of America's finest cars and trucks are equipped with Autolite distributors, coils, generators, starting motors, batteries, and spark plugs right on the assembly line. So, friends, if you want truly reliable ignition, parts, and service, call on your nearest Autolite service station or the car dealer who sells your make of car.
Autolite? Autolite service stations are listed in your classified telephone directory under Automotive Electrical Service.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Miss Madeline Carroll as Sheila in The Morrison Affair. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
I can't file for your divorce, Mrs. Morrison, until you and your husband turn the child over to the British consul.
My husband doesn't know.
He thinks it's his child?
He suspects something's wrong, but...
Well, then make a clean breast of it. Tell him.
Oh, no, he mustn't ever know. He'll kill me or Janie or both of us.
How on earth did you make your husband believe?
That was easy. I figured it all out on the way to Mother's. I took a bus at Reading Junction, then another train. It was almost midnight when I got home and let myself in the front door. Mother was waiting up.
Is that you, Sheila?
Yes, Mother.
Oh, you've had me worried almost. Sheila.
There's a fire still lit in the kitchen, Mum. Yes, but don't ask questions now, please. He's hungry. I'm going to heat him up some milk.
Whose baby is it?
He's mine now.
What do you mean, Sheila? Whose was it?
I don't know. Here, hold him while I get the milk.
Oh, shh, baby, shh. You mean you've adopted him?
I stole him.
Sheila.
I don't ask you to understand, Mother. I only ask you to help me. Because I'm your child and because I can't ever have a child of my own.
But Paul won't let you keep this child.
If he thinks it's his own, he will.
Oh, look, the poor little mite's starving.
It may be years before the war's over and I see Paul again. He'll look forward to seeing his son.
But he's bound to ask where this son was born.
He was born here.
But there are records of such things, Sheila. The date, the place, the parents, the doctor.
I know. Mother, telephone Dr. Lucas.
Dr. Lucas? Why, he's a charlatan. He's not even a rare doctor.
Oh, does that matter? He's greedy, and that's the kind of man I need. Tell him I want to see him tomorrow. Because tomorrow, my son Jamie will be born. That night, before I went to bed, I cabled Paul at his last APO address. Why haven't you answered my letters? Or don't you like my news? His answering cable came in the morning. What letters? What news? We'll phone. It was going to be easy. Paul had traveled so much. New York, Baltimore, 3 months in the Pacific. It would be easy to make him believe that some of his mail had gone astray. I waited all day for Paul's call and for Dr. Lucas. That miserable little man took his time about it.
Mrs. Morrison, I'm late, but your mother assured me no one was ill.
No, it's about my son.
Why, I didn't hear that
I'm
he'd had
having difficulties about his birth record. I've lost the certificate and I need a duplicate.
Why, Mrs. Morrison, I'm sure if you write
As a matter of fact, I want the record changed.
Change?
I want the certificate to say that he was born here today.
Mrs. Morrison.
It can be done, can't it?
It's rather difficult.
You mean it's expensive?
Yes, very expensive. There's the risk to a doctor's reputation.
How much?
£1,000.
All right.
No, I'm afraid it will have to be £1,200.
All right, but that's all I can pay. Here, you can write it out under this lamp.
One moment, I'll find the form. Yes, here it is.
He's the son of Mr. and Mrs. Paul Morrison. Excuse me, please. Yes?
Go ahead, Major Morrison.
Hello? Hello, Sheila.
Paul, darling. Where are you?
India. I turned the whole army inside out to get a priority. Can you hear me all right?
Fine. But, darling, why didn't you answer my letters?
Well, I answered every one I got.
Then the important ones got lost or something. You haven't heard the news?
What news?
You're going to be a father, Paul. Did you hear me, Paul?
Yes. But, Sheila, that seems impossible.
But it's happened all the same. Any day now you'll have a son and heir.
Oh, you've made up your mind. It's going to be a boy, eh?
That's what you want, isn't it?
Yes, it's what I want. But it seems like a miracle. I was dead certain that I...
Something wrong, Mrs. Morrison?
I was cut off. Operator!
Yes?
Operator, I was cut off. It was a call from India.
Didn't you hang up?
Certainly not. I was cut off.
Well, I'll try to get your party back.
Yes, try. But it's all right if you don't.
What is the name of your son, Mrs. Morrison?
Jamie. Jamie Morrison.
Jamie Morrison, born July 3rd, 1942. You know, Mrs. Morrison, heredity is tricky.
There's nothing wrong with my son's heredity.
And then there's always the danger of being found out, as long as anyone knows beside yourself.
At first, some nights I dreamed that Jamie's mother had come to fetch Jamie. But that was only at first. I buried my guilt, buried it deep. 4 years went by. Then the war was over, and Jamie and I sailed to join Paul in America. The day I arrived in New York, I may have been nervous, but I was sure at last of happiness, as sure as I'd ever been in my life. Oh, Paul, darling.
My dear. Oh, I've never seen you look better, darling. Motherhood suits you.
Is that my daddy?
Yes, Jamie.
Well, how do you do, James?
My name isn't James. It's Jamie.
Jamie?
Yes, I've always called him that. I don't know why. It's a kind of nickname, I suppose.
Well, from now on, we'd better settle for James. We Morrisons never appreciated nicknames. Funny about his eyes.
His eyes?
I've got to look up my Mendel. Can two blue-eyed people have a brown-eyed child?
They must. We did, no matter what Mendel says.
Well, he's positively the first Morrison with brown eyes. But why not? He's the miracle kid.
The miracle kid. Blue eyes, brown eyes. I rolled the phrases around my mind, hunting their real meaning. I was oversensitive, of course, but from the first day I felt that Paul was hostile to Jamie.
Where's my miracle kid?
He's taking his nap. What do you want with him?
I'm driving down to the rifle range with a friend. I thought I'd take James along.
Oh, but he's too young, Paul.
Too young for what?
To play with guns.
Oh, that's just why I want to take him along. The sooner he knows how to handle guns, the better off he'll be.
Here I am, Jamie.
Mommy, I fell off.
Oh, darling, what's happened?
I fell off the horse. He went too fast and jumped around, and I fell off and hurt my knee.
Yeah, I brought the iodine. He's more scared than hurt.
Oh, not iodine. Use peroxide. It won't sting. I told you he was too young to ride.
Oh, it was a gentle horse. Jamie lost the seat when it started to trot, that's all. We'll do better next time, won't we, kid?
I guess so, Daddy.
There won't be a next time.
Yes, there will be, Sheila.
Jamie, go up to Mother's room, and I'll be along in a minute to fix your knee.
All right, Mommy.
There's candy in my bureau. You know where.
Yes, Mommy, I do.
Paul, what are you trying to do?
I'm trying to make my son like my son.
He's my son, too, you know.
What you're doing to him, Sheila, he's not anybody's son. He's a zombie. I swear I'd rather see him dead than what you want him to be.
I suppose it was then that I first realized what I would have to do. That someday soon, I'd have to get Jamie away from Paul. I was frightened. I even began to carry a gun in my bag, and I began to make plans. I'd start again, build a new life for myself and my son. Then yesterday, I knew that I'd have to hurry, that I couldn't postpone my decision any longer. I found out when Paul came home from the hospital. He came directly to my room.
Ah, there you are. I want to tell you something, Sheila.
What is it? What's happened?
A big day at the conference.
Oh, you mean the medical conference?
Yeah, a psychiatrist from Chicago named Drake read a paper on psychosomatic medicine. Terrific. And then there was a curious report on euthanasia. You know, mercy killing. Interesting but extreme.
In what way?
Well, the doctor delivering the report favors not only the mercy killing of incurables, he advocates weeding out and purifying the race by studying heredity and eliminating those whose heredity is questionable. Real crackpot.
Horrible.
Sheila, while his report was going on, though, I began to wonder about you and Jamie.
About me and Jamie?
Yes. I wanted to ask you, is there something about Jamie's heredity that you don't want me to know?
Then I understood. The danger was real and now. For myself, but mostly for Jamie. Paul was playing with me like a cat plays with a mouse. This talk about mercy killing, heredity, this subtle, cruel talk, threatening me with Jamie's death, announcing in advance the mercy killing of a child who is inferior because he isn't a Morrison. That's why I've come to you, Mr. Ballou. I can't risk Paul's getting custody. I have to take Jamie away first, far away where Paul can't reach him, and then get a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me where it's safest for us to go and get the papers I need.
Mrs. Morrison, I promised that whatever you told me would be confidential. I'm sorry I made that promise. If I hadn't, I'd go to Dr. Morrison and tell him that his wife carries a heavy load of guilt. A very heavy load. And it's coloring everything she does.
You think I'm insane?
I think you have dangerous delusions.
And you won't help me?
I can't, Mrs. Morrison. A psychiatrist might help you, but only if you go to him now before it's too late.
Mrs. Morrison. Yes? You're to go to the hospital. Dr. Morrison said for you to come right away.
What is it, Elsa? What's happened?
It's the little boy. Jamie. He got hold of one of his daddy's guns.
He's done it. He's killed Jamie.
Jamie was playing with it, and it went off when it was pointed right at himself. He's hurt bad.
Take my blood, Paul. Take it. I'll do anything.
Sheila, get hold of yourself. You're hysterical. We have to know his blood type first. The lab should be calling back any minute.
Paul, I'd rather you didn't operate. Ask Dr. McDonald.
Well, this isn't McDonald's kind of a case. Don't you trust me, Sheila?
I thought you might be too nervous being his father.
Am I, Sheila?
What?
Am I his father, Sheila? Dr. Morrison speaking. All right. It's the lab. Hello? Yes, Brooks. It's what? You're absolutely sure? You checked twice? I see. Yes, thank you. You gave the results of the blood test. We can't use your blood, Sheila.
You know from the blood test?
Yes, Dr. Morrison?
Get the boy ready for operation. I'll start immediately.
Yes, Doctor.
No, what, Sheila? No, don't tell me. All I know is that your blood is type A and mine is type A and James is type B. Wait here, Sheila.
Don't do it, Paul.
Do what?
I won't let you operate. I won't. Get Dr. McDonald. Or I'll kill you.
You're out of your mind. You can't shoot that gun.
I can and I will before I let you touch Jamie. Now that you know he's not your son.
I've always known it.
You're lying.
From the first moment I saw him. It's a proven medical fact. Two blue-eyed people cannot have a brown-eyed child.
And all your cruelty was deliberate.
At first I thought you'd been unfaithful. That Jamie was your son and another man was his father. But the blood proves he's not yours either. You adopted him.
I stole him, and I'm not going to lose him now.
We're all ready, Dr. Morrison.
Thank you. Wait here, Sheila.
Paul, I warned you.
Mrs. Morrison, don't!
Fell like a sack of dry leaves, and liquid the color of dark grapes seeped through and spread slowly across the front of his surgeon's jacket. Then people came and dragged me away. I've seen no one since except those who guard me, and my lawyer, Mr. Ballou, who came to tell me that Paul was dead and that Jamie would live. The operation was performed successfully by Dr. McDonald. Then Mr. Ballou began to talk about how to defend me against the charge of murder. Why not tell them the truth?
Let me tell you the truth, Mrs. Morrison. After you shot Dr. Morrison, he could have lived. He had to choose between his life and Jamie's.
What could he do for Jamie?
The bullet had lodged in Jamie's brain. It would take hours to find a brain specialist as good as Dr. Morrison.
But he didn't operate.
He ordered them to take him to the operating room. Then for an hour and a half, he stood at Dr. McDonald's elbow, directing every move of his scalpel. When the operation was over, Dr. Morrison was dying. But Jamie would live.
And so, in my defense, Mr. Ballou intends to plead insanity. But I wasn't insane then. Nor am I now, I know that. I'm merely a selfish woman. Everything I did for myself, not for Jamie. I can see that now. But Paul gave his life for his son. And no matter what happens to him now, Jamie had a father.
Thank you, Madeline Carroll, for a splendid performance. Miss Carroll will return in just a moment.
Hello, Tom. Yeah, I knew it was you. What? You just called to say thanks for telling you about Autolite? Well, don't thank me. Frank Martin's your man.
Well, friends, you'll thank and congratulate yourself for depending on your Autolite serviceman because of the way your car will perform after it's had his expert care. He's got the skill, equipment, and those great Autolite parts to put your ignition system in top shape. Look up your nearest Autolite service station. It's listed in your classified phone book under Automotive Electrical Service. And keep in mind, wherever you go, Autolite means spark plugs.
Ignition-engineered spark plugs.
Autolite means batteries.
Stay full batteries.
Autolite means ignition system.
The lifeline of your car.
And now, here again is Miss Madeline Carroll.
It's been a great pleasure to appear with this fine cast on Suspense. It's a program I've always enjoyed hearing, and I'm looking forward to next week's story, in which that rising young star, Burt Lancaster, appears. It's another gripping study in
Suspense.
Madeline Carroll appeared through the courtesy of 20th Century Fox whose current production is The Luck of the Irish, starring Ann Baxter and Tyrone Power. Tonight's suspense play was written by Pamela Wilcox, with music composed by Lucian Morowick and conducted by Lud Gluskin. The entire production was under the direction of Anton M. Leader. In the coming weeks, Suspense will present such stars as Gregory Peck, Edward G. Robinson, John Garfield, and others. Make it a point to listen each Thursday to Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills. And next Thursday, same time, hear Burt Lancaster.
This is the Autolite Suspense show. Drive slowly. Death and danger travel in fast company. Good night. Switch to Autolite.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
In just a moment, Suspense with Burt Lancaster.
You just sit down and make yourself at home, Doc. Mary. Yes? Hey, look who's here, Doc Lewis.
Oh, my goodness, who's sick?
Oh, golly. Can't the poor doctor make a simple social visit like ordinary folks? I just finished my last call, so I stopped by to Steel Hap's easy chair, relax, and listen to the Autolite Suspense show.
Sit right down.
My car and I have had a tough day. We have to keep in shape, too, you know.
I suppose you've got a surefire prescription for keeping your car in shape, Doc.
Oh, you bet. Autolite resistor spark plugs, Autolite batteries, and Autolite ignition system. I wish every case was as easy as that one.
Well, you sound like Frank Martin. Is your prescription for tired doctors the Autolite Suspense show?
Right again. Let's listen.
Suspense. Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations bring you radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Starring tonight, Mr. Burt Lancaster in Anton Leader's production of The Big Shot by Brett Halliday. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
You gotta be tough to be a big shot. Especially when you're cursed with yellow curly hair and a pretty baby face. I learned about that early, when I was a kid, and the other kids started razzing. I learned that if you bounced a brick off somebody's head, the razzing stopped, and you were somebody. It was a very profitable lesson, which paid off as I grew up, and I found it pays dividends whether you're on East 10th Street or down in Mexico.
Morton, Charlie Morton.
Yeah?
Well, welcome to Mexico.
Well, thanks. You're Quinn, I suppose.
Right, glad to meet you.
Same here.
Well, it's lucky you were the only American on the bus, or I'd never have recognized you.
No?
No. Collins Road, he was sending a young fellow out just from engineering school, but I didn't expect him.
Listen, Quinn, never mind my looks. You asked for a mining engineer, and you got one. Any complaints?
Why, of course.
Well, if there are, you can pay me off my guarantee, and I'll get back on that bus.
Now, wait a minute, Morton. I didn't mean to offend you. I got no complaints as long as you can do the job.
I can do the job.
Yes, I guess maybe you can.
Now, how about a drink?
Sure. Right over here at the corner. In Mexico, there's always a bottle of tequila not too far away. That's one thing makes it attractive.
Must be the only thing, then.
Oh, I don't know. Some of us like it down here.
Is that so?
Why'd you come, then?
Well, that's easy. They told me there was money in it.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. In here.
Bienvenidos, señores. ¿Qué quieren ustedes?
Dos tequilas, por favor.
Dos tequilas. Sí.
I hope you like tequila, Morton. It's about all they have around here.
It'll do. Are all the bartenders like that?
No, that's Lolita. Her father owns the place.
She ought to be plenty good for business.
Guess so. Say, your stuff has all arrived. Last box of equipment came in last night, so you can start setting up the mill as soon as we get back.
Don't worry, I'll get it up.
I'm not worried, but time is important.
Dos tequilas, señores.
See, gracias, Lolita.
Yeah. Thanks, beautiful.
Beautiful.
see, baby. That's you. From top to bottom.
Is okay, senor?
There's plenty okay, baby. Plenty.
Gracias, senor.
Well,
Gracias.
maybe I'm going to like Mexico after all.
Look, Martin, I don't know how much Collins told you about the setup.
Not much. Said there was a chance for some money and plus a little excitement.
He didn't tell you there might be more than excitement. Jail, maybe, or worse.
He mentioned it.
Oh. Okay, then. You understand that we've got a ticklish proposition on our hands. We've got to be careful, especially with these people. If they knew what we were planning.
Okay, what are we planning?
We struck a rich vein of gold quartz in the remote mountains about 20 miles from here. I've got my crew mining as fast as we can before anybody around here finds out about it.
So?
The tough part comes in getting it out of the country. There's a wave of Mexico for Mexicans right now, and if we haul the ore out to the regular stamping mill in town, the government will confiscate most of the gold.
I see. So you bring me in to set up a small stamping mill at the mine and mill the ore there, huh?
Right. We figure that in the next month we can sluice out maybe $500,000 worth of free gold. Then get out quick before anybody gets wise.
$500,000?
Yes, but we'll still have to smuggle it out of the country. It's going to be a tough job.
Kid stuff.
Yeah? It's not just the law we've got to worry about.
Well, what else? Lolita?
Sure. These people would inform on us if they found out. They wouldn't tell the government. They'd tell some bandit gang around in the hills somewhere.
Bandits. I suppose they got a Robin Hood down here, too.
Okay, Morton, maybe you'll learn.
Well, I thought $500,000 would tempt anybody.
And a 20th of that is your share, maybe 25,000. That's not hay.
Senores.
Careful, Morton.
Senores. ¿Quieren ustedes otra bebida?
No, gracias. ¿Cuánto?
Un peso. Gracias, senores.
Hey, Lolita.
Sí, senor.
You understand, comprende English?
Sí, senor. I speak English muy good.
Oh, so I see.
Never mind, baby. A little is enough. Your old man ever give you any time off?
Yes, senor. No comprendo.
Well, let's put it another way. Are you doing anything Saturday night?
Wait a minute, Morton. Better not make any dates.
Well, why not? The guy can't work all the time, especially with stuff like this around. You don't expect me to stay up there...
Be quiet, you fool.
Okay. Never mind, beautiful. See you later. Comprende?
Sí, senor. See you later.
Yeah, you get the idea.
Hasta luego.
Look, Morton, I warned you. Be careful.
I'm a big boy. I can take care of myself and her.
Just remember, there's $500,000 involved.
Yeah, $500,000.
Maybe, altogether, for the company. 25,000 for you.
$500,000.
Listen, Morton.
And 25,000 for me.
That's not enough for you?
It'll do for a start.
You think you're a pretty big shot, don't you, Morton?
And you don't like it, is that it?
I don't like you.
That bus is still out there. And you could get another engineer down here in maybe 6 weeks.
Something tells me I ought to take you up on that, but I don't have to like you. As long as you do your job and stay out of trouble.
Okay, then let's leave it at that. Whatever happens, it won't be me who'll have any regrets. The setup was just like Quinn said, except that the ore was even richer than I'd expected. There was a pile of it already mined, and I put them into work right away assembling the stamping mill. You know, hard rock miners are funny. They hate being bossed by an engineer who's learned all his mining out of books. And they didn't like it either that I was getting a bigger share of the net than they were. And, of course, to add that, my looks, the yellow hair, and the baby face. I knew that sooner or later I'd have to show them that they couldn't draw any wrong conclusions from my face. Well, it didn't take long for the showdown to come.
On, Hank. Let's knock off. Chow's ready.
Wait a minute, Logan.
Yeah?
That sluice is not tight. Better get down there and tighten up those bolts.
It can wait till tomorrow. Chow's ready.
I said get down there and tighten up those bolts.
Who's going to make me? A dude engineer?
I am.
Why, you measly little... Yeah, but you're not tough enough. Little man. Me, will you?
Look out. You're too close to the gully. Morton, look out.
Morton, you knocked him over the cliff. He went down in the gully.
I saw him.
Hurry up. Get down there, man. He's probably hurt bad. Must have fallen 30 feet. Morton, where are you going?
Somebody said supper was ready.
You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to knock him over the cliff.
Yeah, all they asked for.
But you didn't have to fight like that. Like you meant to kill him.
They wouldn't take orders. I had to show them.
Okay, Morton.
Hey, Quinn.
Yeah?
He's dead. His neck's broke.
So,
You got to show us all how tough you are, don't you, Morton? Even if it amounts to murder.
Nobody else wants any supper. I do. I'm hungry.
For Suspense, Autolite is bringing you Mr. Burt Lancaster in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
I wouldn't call Suspense very relaxing, Dr. Lewis.
Well, Suspense is certainly no sedative, Mary, but I like it that way, full of ginger.
Like those Autolite resistor spark plugs you mentioned, hey, Doc?
Now, say, Hap, don't you get me started on those Autolite resistors, because I'm a bug on them.
I guess it's pretty important that you doctors have spark plugs that you can really depend on, huh?
Right as rain, Hap. You know, my patients just can't wait. They expect me to be Johnny on the spot, day or night, fair weather or foul.
Yes, folks, come rain or shine, Autolite resistor spark plugs are just what the doctor ordered for your car. Right now, you can get Autolite resistor spark plugs anywhere in the United States, and they're sensational. Why, no other spark plugs can give and maintain such performance. Autolite ignition engineered a 10,000 ohm resistor right into the Autolite spark plugs. This permits a wider gap setting and maintains it far longer than any other spark plug. Replace your narrow gap spark plugs with a set of wide gap Autolite resistor spark plugs. You can actually tell the difference in your car. Autolite resistor spark plugs are a great new development of Autolite ignition engineers. Autolite engineers, tests, and produces complete ignition systems. That's why Autolite spark plugs work in special harmony with your car's entire electrical system. Get a set of Autolite resistor spark plugs right away.
And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Burt Lancaster as Charles Morton in The Big Shot, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
You gotta be tough. It's a tough world. And you gotta be tougher than the next guy. I was tougher than Joe Logan, that's all. I beat him in a fair fight. If he slipped and fell over that cliff, well, it's just too bad. While they buried him, I ate my supper. After that, I had no more trouble with the men. The first Saturday that everything was running smoothly, I went up to Quinn's tent. Quinn!
Yeah? Oh, come in, Morton. We're just looking over the take so far. What's your guess?
Maybe 100,000?
Yes, maybe. We'll pull at least 250.
We'll get that $500,000, don't you worry.
If nobody bothers us.
Don't be so jumpy. Nobody's going to bother us.
I hope not. Say, Morton, I got to admit you've done a whale of a job so far.
Forget it.
Don't worry, Morton. I don't like you any better. But I can appreciate it when a man knows his job and does it well.
Okay. Look, I'm going into town. You want any supplies?
I'm sending Andy in for him.
Well, there's no use of the two of us going.
Morton, I'm the boss here.
Are you?
Yes.
You told me as long as I did the job, that was all you cared about.
That's right.
Okay, I've done the job. It'll take the crew 2 days to catch up. I'm going to town.
I'll tell Andy you'll get the supplies.
Aquí, querido. More tequila?
Sí, baby. Come in.
Oh, Senor Charm.
Love me, baby?
Oh, pero sí, querido. I have never met one like you.
Yeah, that goes double, baby. You're sensational. You'd knock 'em dead in the States. I'd like to take you back there. I'd like to dress you up in fancy clothes with diamonds in your hair.
Diamonds? Oh, senor, you must be very rich.
Not yet. But give me time.
It's very interesting. Tell me more, querido.
Later, baby, later. Right now, let's blow this joint.
But, Senor Charlie, is it not you must go back to wherever you go?
They can do without me for a while. I like it here better. Okay?
Okay, senor.
Well, what was that? What'd the kid say?
It's nothing, Senor Charlie. It's a game they play.
Well, what'd he say?
He say, beware El Chico.
Oh. Who's El Chico?
It's nobody, senor. You must not mind.
Sounds like a Mexican goblin or something.
El Chico is, they say, a bandido. You know, like Americanos. He rob, kill them. They see me with Americano, they say, beware El Chico. It's a game.
I get it. He's a Mexican equivalent of Superman, eh? An imaginary Robin Hood in a sombrero.
Oh, no comprendo, senor.
Well, never mind, baby. Forget the fairy tales. That kid ought to be home in bed anyway instead of running around a saloon.
He's my little brother.
Oh, I get it now. This is the family game to scare off the Americanos, eh?
No, senor.
Well, I don't scare easily, baby. I don't scare at all.
Ah, bueno.
No, sorry, Hey.
¿Qué? What is the matter, Senor Charlie?
Nothing, baby, nothing. I just had a great idea, that's all. Thank your little brother for me, baby. He's just given me a great idea. Yeah, a great idea. For a long time I've been thinking, why just 25,000? Why not the whole $500,000? There's something wonderful about those little bags of free gold, you know? They're so negotiable. You don't have to exchange them for anything else before you can get the cash. With $500,000 and Lolita, life could be beautiful. And now the plan was shaping up in my mind. I started putting it into effect as soon as I got back to the camp. Quinn was waiting there for me as I rode up, and I could see he was boiling.
Where in thunder have you been? You were due back 2 days ago.
I got drunk. I didn't feel like hitting the trail this morning.
Oh, just like that. Take it or leave it.
Well, that's it.
I don't blame a man for getting drunk. Once. But I'll send somebody else in for supplies next week.
I'm going in. I got a date next Saturday night.
Listen, Morton, I told you.
You want to fire me now? Huh? You got anybody else that can keep the mill going?
I haven't, and you know it.
All right, then. Let's get to work.
Morton.
Maybe we better speed up a little, too.
Why?
Well, they're talking in town about this El Chico.
El Chico?
Yeah, Bandito thinks he's going to run all the Americanos out of Mexico. He's making war on the merchants and raising Cain up north.
Up north?
Yeah. The talk in town was that he's heading down this way.
I was afraid of something like that. You better tell me about it, Morton. Tell me all about it.
It was a cinch. From the very first, he swallowed it all. By the next Saturday, he was begging me to go back to town. Keep my ears open, find out all I could. Of course, I heard plenty. Then Quinn was hurrying the men, trying to figure out a way to get out. But the way I told him, El Chico had complete control of the province to the north and blocked our way back to the States. The only other way was across the mountains to the west, and they were impassable without native guides. Now, he knew that, but I reminded him. And then the next time I went into town, I brought back the map. A greasy, crumpled, dog-eared pencil map, scrawled on butcher paper. It was a masterpiece. It should have been. It took me a whole night to draw it. And it showed an old wagon road going out over the mountains to the coast. I told Quinn I bought it from an old Mexican. It was the prelude for my trump card.
Okay. That map looks genuine, all right. And if it is, that road can't be more than 10 miles due west of here.
And I figure less than that. Straight over there in that low pass.
My golly, I think you're right.
Sure. All we got to do is to get across this one canyon right here.
And how do you figure we do that? With wings? It's 300 feet deep and 100 wide.
It's easy.
Yeah? That tequila you've been swilling in town's got you goofy.
I want to throw a bridge across.
I love the way you say that. Like, why not have another flapjack for breakfast?
Look, I'm an engineer, remember? I'll put a bridge across there in 3 days.
Morton, you do that, and I'll take back everything I ever said about you.
The next morning, I tied a 200-foot length of rope around my waist, took a pulley with me, and started down to the bottom. It took me all day to make it up to the other side. I tied the pulley to a jack pine and pulled the rope through tight and tied it off. And then I came back hand over hand. After that, it was simple to finish the slickest suspension bridge you ever laid eyes on. Plenty strong enough to hold all our men and mules, fully loaded. It was so good that even Quinn had the grace to admit it.
I gotta hand it to you, Morton. I've seen a lot of engineers that can work things out on paper, but not many that can do the job themselves.
Thanks.
What do you say we take a look over there tomorrow for that road?
No need to. I took a little walk today. I ran the cable across. The road's there, all right, just where the map shows it.
Oh. All right, if you found it, I guess that takes care of that.
Sure, we're all set.
Thanks to you. I guess I owe you an apology, Morton. Maybe we all owe our lives to you.
That's the only time, before or after, that I had a qualm when he said that. But you gotta be tough. I couldn't forget that. It was too late now to back out. Everything was ready. We were all set to leave on short notice. Quinn wrote a letter to Collins in the States, telling him to meet us on the coast with a boat. Quinn gave me the letter to mail in town. But of course, I never mailed it. I spent my time in town getting the necessary mules and the gear. And then I went to Lolita.
Querido mío, I have missed you.
Well, it's the last time you'll have to miss me, baby. This is it. The diamonds, the fancy clothes, all of it. Yours.
Mine? Querido, you are rich now?
By this time tomorrow, we'll both be rich. More gold than we'll know what to do with for the rest of our lives.
Gold? You have found much gold?
See, it's ours, thanks to El Chico.
El Chico? What?
Remember Beware El Chico, the game you played with your brother?
Oh, see.
Well, that's what gave me the idea, and it worked perfectly. We'll have to thank El Chico if we ever run into him.
Oh, I do not think that will happen. After all, El Chico is only in a game, remember?
Never mind the games now, baby. We got work to do. I'll get some clothes, but keep it light. We'll pull out of here at midnight. And tomorrow we're rich. Oh, there, Alto.
We are here already, querido.
No, but you stay here with the mules while I go into camp with Quinn's train. It'll be dawn in an hour, then you start up.
See.
And remember, raise as much dust as you can. It's part of the plan.
See.
By the time you get there, everything will be ready. Comprende?
See, querido. You are sure there will be no mistake?
Not with me running this clam bake, honey. Now give me a kiss. And a girl. Hasta luego, baby.
Good luck, querido.
But I wasn't depending on luck. You don't need luck when you got everything figured. By noon, the leader and I'd be on our way back to the States with a trunk full of that yellow stuff. And the men? Well, I didn't even give them a thought. Not even Quinn. Dumb luck. Too stupid to reach for what they wanted. They deserved whatever life handed them. Just before I rounded the last bend into camp, I stopped to touch. It's awful quiet in the mountains just before dawn. I took a deep breath and... Quinn! Get going, you mangy cussers. Try to look like you've been running for 20 miles. Quinn!
Who is it? What, is that you? What is it? What's the matter?
Alta. Well, we'll have to get out in a hurry. El Chico's on his way here with 20 men. He'll be here inside of 2 hours.
How'd he find out about us?
Oh, it's all my fault. I was a fool to trust the leader. I thought she was okay. She sent word to El Chico about the gold.
You blasted idiot. I told you to keep your mouth shut.
I know. You can kick me anywhere. I've been kicking myself all the way up here.
I'd like to kill you.
Well, I wouldn't blame you, Quinn.
All right, men, get those mules back. We're getting out. The gold cleared. 2 saddlebags for each mule. Hurry.
I worked like a demon alongside the men, getting the stuff packed. And then, just as the last mule was getting his diamond hitch, I grabbed Quinn's arm.
What do you want?
Quinn, I've been thinking. I gotta do something.
Looks to me like you've done enough.
Don't you see? It's my fault. It's up to me to do something now.
This is no time to beat your breast. We're getting out. Getting out of here as fast as we can.
No, look, I got an idea. You gotta let me square myself.
Make it snappy. We can't waste time.
Well, listen. I placed a dynamite charge under the eye bolts at this side of the bridge.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'll stay on this side and wait till you're safely across. Then blow the bolts clean so there'll be no trace left.
I see.
You cut the cables on the other side with a hacksaw, and the whole bridge will drop to the bottom where the brush will hide it. You'll be out of sight when El Chico comes. And I'll tell him you've outslicked him, gone north. He'll waste several days riding after you before he realizes the truth, and by that time you'll be safe on the coast.
What about you?
Well, I don't matter. This wouldn't have happened if I had shut my mouth off. Come on, you fellows get going.
No, we'll stick together. Cutting the cables on the far side's a good idea. He'll lose a day going back to where he can cross the canyon.
A day is not enough. His horses will catch your move. We got to destroy every sign of the bridge. Make them think you've gone the other way. I'm staying.
I don't know.
It's the only way, Quinn. Look. You can see the dust cloud over there on the trail. He's coming. You haven't got much time to get out of sight.
All right, Morton. Maybe I was wrong about you. Let me shake your hand. Good luck.
Good luck. That's all guys like Quinn can think about. They don't understand a man who's tough enough to make his own luck. All of them lined up and they shook my hand. They all hated me since I came on the job. Now they were shaking my hand. And in a minute, the lead mule started. Soon they were all strung out on that long, swaying bridge. Quinn stayed till last, facing them out. I waved to him and waited for him to step out on the bridge. My hand inched toward the plunger. But then the stupid fool started back toward me. Go on, Quinn, hurry. There's no time.
I can catch up with him. Listen, I've been thinking, Morton. Sunday, while you were in town, I looked around for that road. I couldn't find it.
They're all right. You'll find it. Hurry, Quinn.
Maybe so. But I was just thinking. Why'd you plant the dynamite under this end of the bridge?
Well,
Why couldn't you have strung wires and blown it out from the other side?
I just didn't. I made a mistake. All right, I'll take the consequences.
You can still do it, Morton. We've got plenty of wire. No need for you to fall into El Chico's hands.
Go on, you fool. Go on. In a minute, it'll be too late.
Too late for what, Morton?
Look at that dust. He's coming.
You know what I think? I think El Chico isn't anywhere within 500 miles of here.
What?
I think you planned to blow up this bridge with the men on it. Drop us all at the bottom where you could pick up the pieces.
Get away, Quinn. Can't stop me now. I'll take care of you later.
Get away from that plunger. Stop it. Morton, get your hand off that. Stop it. No.
Back into focus, I could see the bridge was gone. The bridge and the men and the mules. But I couldn't seem to figure out what happened. Quinn lay beside me, very still. I could see blood. How did... I seem to remember hearing a shot. But where did it come from?
Charlie! Senor Charlie!
Lolita! You did it! You shot him! You're wonderful! We did it, baby. We did it. Look it down there. $500,000, baby. 3 million pesos in gold. All we got to do is go down and pick it up.
Indeed, a good job, senor.
I stared stupidly at the little man in the big sombrero who stepped out of the manzanita and grinned at me. A smoking revolver dangled from one hairy paw, and the other was pulling Lolita toward him. My Lolita. She put her arms around him and kissed him in a way that she never kissed me.
We will pick up your gold for you, senor. You are a very smart man, Senor Charlie. I should like to be your friend. Except you are gringo. And you mistake to make the love to the sweetheart of El Chico.
Thank you, Burt Lancaster, for a splendid performance. Mr. Lancaster will return in just a moment.
Doc, what do you do for an acute case of goose pimples, huh?
Well, if I knew, I'd prescribe some for myself.
What you both need are some cool, calm, carefree Autolite words from Frank Martin.
Now, Mary, can't a couple of old jalopy men talk about spark plugs?
Everybody's talking about Autolite resistor spark plugs. Why, they're the best thing that's happened in spark plugs for years. Replace your narrow gap spark plugs with the sensational new wide gap Autolite resistor spark plugs. You can actually tell the difference in your car. You'll enjoy immediate improvement like smoother idling and gas saving. Buy a set of Autolite resistor spark plugs tomorrow. So remember, Autolite means spark plugs. Ignition-engineered resistor spark plugs. Autolite means batteries. Stay full batteries. Autolite means ignition system, the lifeline of your car. Yes, and Autolite also makes in its 26 nationwide plants more than 400 automotive, aviation, and marine products famous the world over for engineered dependability.
And now here again is Mr. Burt Lancaster.
My thanks to the fine cast of radio actors who appeared on tonight's show. Suspense is always one of my favorite programs, whether I'm acting on it or listening to it. And you can be sure that I'll be glued to my radio next Thursday evening when Gregory Peck appears in a story called Hitchhike Poker. Another gripping study in
Suspense.
Burt Lancaster will soon be seen in the Norma production, Kiss the Blood Off My Hands. Tonight's suspense play was written by Brett Halliday and adapted for radio by Lawrence Goldman, with music composed by Lucian Morowick and conducted by Lud Gluskin. The entire production was under the direction of Anton M. Leader. In the coming weeks, Suspense will present such stars as Robert Young, Virginia Bruce, Edward G. Robinson, Ray Milland, and many others. And of special note, our star tonight, Burt Lancaster, may currently be seen in the film version of Sorry, Wrong Number, that great suspense play, soon to be repeated on this program with Agnes Moorehead in her original role. Make it a point to listen each Thursday to Suspense, radio's outstanding theater of thrills. And next Thursday, same time, hear Gregory Peck in Hitchhike Poker.
This is the Autolite Suspense Show. Drive slowly. Death and danger travel in fast company. Good night. Switch to Autolite.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Yes, we're going to be married.
When, dear?
Well, pretty soon, I think.
Am I going to meet her?
Yes, I'll bring her here to dinner tomorrow night.
All right, dear, all right. We'll have a nice dinner for her.
Well, you'll like her, Tante Alice. She's a wonderful girl.
I'm sure she is, dear, I'm sure. You better get some sleep now. Tomorrow is a work day, you know. Is there something special you'd like for breakfast?
I won't be having breakfast here in the morning, Tante Alice. Muriel's fixing coffee for me at her house.
Just coffee? Well, that's not enough breakfast for a man with a day's work to do.
Oh, coffee's plenty.
But you've never had just coffee for breakfast, Neil, dear.
No, it's enough. Thanks anyway.
All right. All right, then. I'll just have a little fruit juice here for you before you leave.
No, never mind, Tante Alice. You can sleep in the morning. I'm having breakfast with Muriel. I don't know what time it was when I woke up that night. I'd been dreaming of Muriel. I remember the street lights were out. What woke me was some music from downstairs. Tante Alice hadn't gone to bed yet. She was playing one of her old phonograph records. It was a sweet, sad record. And it's a song that I'll never forget as long as I live.
For Suspense, Autolite is bringing you Mr. Van Heflin in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Sweet little radio you have there. I'm sure glad we met you, Mr. Martin. Dad and I wouldn't miss Van Heflin for anything.
He is great, isn't he? Can always count on him for a top performance.
Just like Autolite resistor spark plugs, eh, Frank?
Yes, Hap. And right now you can get Autolite resistor spark plugs almost anywhere in the United States. It's sensational. Why, no other spark plug will give and maintain such performance. You know, Autolite ignition engineered a 10,000 ohm resistor right into the Autolite spark plug that permits a wider spark gap setting and maintains it far longer than any other spark plug. The Autolite resistor spark plug is the best thing that's happened in spark plugs in years. A great new development of Autolite ignition engineers working with the country's leading car and truck manufacturers.
They make a world of difference, all right. I know. Just had a set installed in my car.
Yes, millions are switching to the new Autolite resistor spark plugs. Now available at Autolite dealers the country over.
Avast with the sales talk, mates. Here's Van Heflin in Suspense again.
And now Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Van Heflin as Neil in Song of the Heart, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
You went to sleep and your aunt was playing this record.
He's up to the end of the day he met the girl.
Yes, that's right.
Now, what happened the next day?
Well, the next day, when I got up in the morning, Tante Alice was already up. Oh, I don't know, maybe she hadn't even been to sleep. The table was set for two in the breakfast room. The toaster was out, my fruit juice was on the table, and she was frying bacon when I came downstairs.
Good morning, Neil, dear.
Good morning.
You're early, aren't you? Breakfast will be ready in just a moment.
I'm not having breakfast at home. I told you that last night.
Oh, that was last night, Neil, dear. Today's another day.
I'm having breakfast with Muriel. I have to go now. I'll see you this evening.
We'll have a nice dinner, Neil, dear.
I'm bringing Muriel home for dinner with me.
Tonight? Oh, but dear, that's hardly warning enough.
You said last night that you wanted to meet her.
But so soon, dear?
Now listen to me. I'm bringing a girl home for you to meet. I love this girl. Now, I want you to be nice to her. I don't want a fiasco like the last time.
Neil, please, dear.
I don't want you pouting and sulking this time. I don't want to have to apologize for your actions.
I think that will be all, Neil, dear. I think that's enough.
If you aren't going to behave yourself properly, now just say so now, and we'll not come home for dinner. Now, that's up to you.
I'm only thinking of you. Now, don't be cross. Give me a big smile like you used to when you were a bad little boy.
All right. How's that?
Oh, you can do better than that.
Now, please, Tante Alice, I'm late. I'll see you at dinner.
All right, dear. You call me from the office if you decide to bring her home for dinner.
We'll be home for dinner. I'm telling you now, I don't have to call you from the office.
You call me, dear.
You see, the last time I tried to bring a girl home, Tante Alice had acted just the same way. She'd behaved so badly that I'd never done it again. That had been after the junior class party at high school. It's 13 years ago, and I'd never done it again. I waited for Muriel after work that evening, and we drove toward my home together.
Hold your head still so I can kiss you.
Let's get married tomorrow.
Why, Mr. Wilson, how sudden.
No, really.
Well, what about your Aunt Alice?
What about her?
She won't be angry at me stealing you away from her?
Why should she be?
Well, the way she's hung on to you. For instance, why doesn't she live by herself?
Well, I don't know. We've been together so long.
Sure, but after all, she's only your aunt. You've got a life of your own to lead. She's got enough money to live by herself.
Well, it's not money. She's quite wealthy. How did you know she had money?
Oh, I heard someone...
Everyone was at the picnic, from shipping clerks to executives, everyone. But I sat off to the side by myself, and... Well, that's the afternoon that I met Muriel.
Having a good time?
What? Oh, yes, thank you.
Isn't it a lovely day?
Yes, it is.
I'm Muriel Jones, accounting department.
How do you do? I'm Neil Wilson.
Yes, I know. Do you mind if I sit down here?
Oh, no, please do.
Thank you.
It's really a beautiful day, isn't it?
What are you staring at?
Well, I didn't...
Don't you like my blouse?
Oh, yes, very much. I wasn't staring.
It's a present. Gift from a friend.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I like it because I've been told I had pretty shoulders. Do you think so?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Did you come alone?
Yes.
So did I. I had several invitations, but I turned them down.
Why?
Did I turn them down?
Huh.
Because I knew you were going to be here.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I've seen you at the office. You always look so strict. I wanted to meet you and see if you were.
Well, I'm flattered.
You should be. Most of the time, all the men chase after me. This is the first time I ever did anything like this. Got a cigarette?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. There you are.
Thanks. Match?
Yeah.
Thanks. And don't you smoke?
Well, not just now, thank you.
Would you like to take me home?
Well, yes, I would.
Should we go now?
All right.
Aren't you going to help me up?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Why, Mr. Wilson, how strong you...
You smell of sunshine.
What a pretty speech. Do you always kiss young ladies when you first meet them?
I never have before.
Never met a young lady like me before, have you?
No, I haven't.
Don't kiss me anymore here. Take me home. I'd been out with girls before, but nothing ever came of any of it.
I'm too introverted, I guess, to make the first move, and the ladies that I had known previously were not the kind who'd make the move for me. But Muriel did. And I thought that meant that she loved me. We drove for a while when we left the picnic, and then I took her home.
I like your car.
Would you like to go for a ride tomorrow?
You mean you'll pick me up in the morning? Drive me to work?
Well, I'd like to.
Ah, isn't that sweet?
About 7:45?
All right. I'll have some coffee ready if you like. Would you like having your morning coffee with me?
Oh, I'm afraid I couldn't. Thanks a lot, though.
That'll be all right. My girlfriend lives here with me.
Oh, no, it's not that. I mean, I always have breakfast with Tante Alice.
Who?
My Aunt Alice. I call her Tante. That means aunt.
Oh. Isn't that silly? We're standing out here like we didn't have a place to go. Won't you come in for a few minutes?
Well, I'd like to.
That's good. I know you'll excuse the looks of the house. I left this morning before I had a chance to straighten things up. You just sit down there.
Okay.
Here, I'll put these things in the other room. Is there anything I can get you?
No, thanks. It's very comfortable.
That's good. This is nice.
You're beautiful.
Thank you. Just for saying nice things like that.
Muriel. Muriel,
What?
I've never known anyone like you.
You're just saying that.
No, that's true.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
Yes?
So do I. I knew a girl and a fellow once who got married 3 days after they met. That was love at first sight, wasn't it?
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Is that the way you feel about me?
Yes, it is.
I knew the first time I saw you it would be like this, didn't you?
I hoped it would be.
Give me a kiss.
Will you marry me?
Why, Mr. Wilson, how sudden.
No, will you marry me?
I should be delighted.
I drove home without knowing where I was going. I felt as though I'd never breathed before that day. I felt that I was the luckiest man in the world.
Neil, dear?
Oh, yes, Tante Alice.
Did you have a nice day at the picnic, dear?
Oh, I had a wonderful day.
Well, aren't you going to kiss me?
Oh, sure.
Why, Neil, dear, what's that on your mouth?
What? Where?
It looks to me like lip rouge.
Where?
On your mouth, dear. And on your cheek, too. Why, Neil, dear.
Well, it was...
You better let me wipe it off. Who is the girl? Do I know her?
Her name is Muriel Jones. She works at the office in the accounting department.
Well, how is it that I've never met her if you've known her so long?
Well, I haven't. I just met her today.
You just met her?
It was...
And she...
Well, Tante Alice, it was love at first sight.
Was it?
In just a moment, Suspense with Van Heflin.
Hi, Mr. Martin.
Hello, Frank. What are you doing out here?
I've been fishing, and not for Autolite customers this time, Ab.
Autolite customer? No, I don't think you'll find many cars in the middle of the bay. Autolite resistor spark plugs either.
No cars, but there's plenty of Autolite in powerboats. You know, more Autolite ignition systems are used in marine craft than any other brand.
Old Reliable is the first thought of boat owners, too, eh?
It'd be hard to get back to town if you had a breakdown out here.
Yeah, we wouldn't get back to hear your Suspense show if that happened.
Well, tie up alongside and let's listen to it here. I've got my portable.
Suspense. Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations bring you radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Starring tonight, Mr. Van Heflin in Anton Leader's production of Song of the Heart, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Well, you explain all that to the officer in the car, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah? Can I help you?
Please.
What?
I have a confession to make.
A confession?
Please, are you the officer that I'd tell it to?
Well, do, I guess.
My name is Neil Wilson. I live with Tante Alice. Aunt Alice at 265 West 19th Street.
All right. So?
Last night, I guess it was early this morning, I killed Tanta Alice.
Mike.
Yes?
You better get this.
All right.
Go on. You killed your, Tanta Alice?
Yes.
How?
I took a pillow and smothered.
Go on.
Could I tell you about it? I mean, all about it?
Sure.
Well, I have a fine job. I'm the general manager of the Handes Company. I've been with them ever since I got out of school. I'm an orphan. I live with my aunt, with Tanta Alice.
You live with your aunt?
Yes, I don't remember my parents. They died when I was just a little boy in an accident. Tanta Alice brought me up. She was like my own mother.
Why did you kill her?
I guess I should start when I met Muriel Jones. That was only last Sunday at the annual company picnic. It was the first time I'd ever been to one. Usually I spent Sunday afternoons with Tanta Alice.